Okay, so we're going to paint an egret with black ink, that is black Parker ink, called Quink. When it's applied with water, it makes some really interesting effects. First thing I'm going to do is just wet my brush. It's a sable and synthetic brush, and I'm going to go in straight in with the Quink ink. Getting the background done, trying to get it done as quickly as I can, keeping a wet edge. I don't want any hard edges when they dry. Although it's a lot more forgiving than watercolour ink. So just get around the image. Probably can hear my husband downstairs. Look straight. Beak. Egrets have quite a large beak, so when you're drawing out, just make sure you don't make them a bit too small. And I'm just going to go around some of these spiky feathers and the bottom of the beak. Good steady hand. The brush I'm using is an excellent brush. I couldn't tell you what size it is because I've had it that long. The size has been worn off, but I've had it about 25 years and it's absolutely brilliant. I only ever use it for watercolours, because if I use it for acrylics or oils, it'll absolutely muller it. It's just not suitable anyway for that sort of mediums. But so just get this back bit done down here. Just get into the feathery bits. Now we're going to use titanium white acrylic with this, so it's not too problematic really for keeping the white paper like you would have to do with watercolours. Now you might want a nice sort of flat coat on the background, or you might want to just give it a little bit of interest by just pulling out a little bit with a bit of toilet roll. That's if you've got any left, just to give some interesting shapes while it's like a bit damp. It's gotten a bit too much there. I'll just see if I can find some lure all about. You can see the shapes are filling in a little bit, just to give it a bit of a mottled appearance perhaps, or something like that. Yeah. There. Ink's great for doing backgrounds, particularly black ink. Right, so we've got the background just about done. So now I want to just put in some shade, and so I've got some water here I'm going to add with the Quink ink, and this is, and I'm just going to lay it on. Oops, I don't know what the hell that was. I'm just going to bung it in here like this and see what happens. Background's just a little bit wet still, so I might have a little bit of run back. Just going to be a little bit careful with that, but don't worry too much because we are coming on with white acrylic. Oops. It's got quite a bit of darkness near this eye. It's a great brush, this one I've got, because it holds the water and it holds a wash, and you're not having to, keep dabbing in your palette for more colour or wash. One thing you've got to do though is, when using ink, is just make sure you get all the ink out before it dries. Don't leave it with anything in. Look after it and it'll look after you. Not that a brush can look after you, but there you go. So I'm just going to go in a little bit steadier into the eye, in here. Yeah. Just put a bit stronger mixture in there and a bit around here. Just having a look, see where else. I think I don't want to go down there because I don't want any run backs from. I want to keep a good solid edge on that beak, so I might just leave that for now. I can see there's just a little bit in here which I'll do, and a little bit under here as well, and I might just start to put in some little feathery shapes. If I do them now while it's just slightly damp, I'll get some nice little effects, and it will also give you a bit of a blurred look to your feathers. So little V shapes really, that's what I'm doing at the moment. Okay, might just put a little bit of strong just there and just see what happens with that. Right. Okay. Now my water is basically, you could call that a wash, to be frank with you, because it's got a little bit of ink in that. So I'm just going to use my mucky water and pull into. Now my background is getting quite dry now, but you can see that it's starting, some of it's bleeding in just up here into the water that I've put on. So where you want that to happen, sort of like there, and you want it to maybe bleed in, and put your water next to it. But if you don't want it to bleed in, then you just need to leave a little bit of a gap. Okay. So I'm just going to do this cheek area. Yeah. Also want to get rid of some of these little bits of white in here. Okay. So I might just leave this to dry a bit and then come on a bit later. That's my stomach. I'm hungry. I might just pull down just a little bit of this mucky water. Right, I'm going to leave that now to dry and then come on a bit later. Okay.